and have 10 of them, and this acts as security. That acts as security. So you can keep a check on them, and the kids can work on the whiteboard there.
Yeah.
And then they just are on the computers here, so they just sit here.
And the whiteboard's is a special, it's important, isn't it?
Basically, the whiteboard sits behind the kids, and see in here, they're sitting around, which is reasonable. But the trouble is the computers block them from talking to each other quite so much.
Yeah.
So it's not quite so good here.
Tell me about these stations here.
They work really well.
Why do they work so well?
Because the kids basically are on them. It puts them as teams, and they've got the hole there.
Yeah.
They normally sit on the same side. These guys are like that. They normally sit on the same side and face this way, so then they don't have the gear here.
Yeah.
They don't get the fiddle with the gear, so they're sitting on the other side from the gear.
And there are 5 stations in the room, isn't there?
5 in the room, 5 double hexagons basically.
Yeah.
And each one's got that's a really important part of it.
Yeah.
It's the team numbers. So
Yeah.
1 to 10.
Yep.
All the teams around there.
And you've got the sink, which is sort of separated from the writing area.
Yep.
Yeah.
And having it underneath there means you've got somewhere to put your computer and stuff like that. These are all hardwired for the computer, but you've got wireless as well in the room.
And what about this room over here? Why?
That's a project room.
So that's your project room. So it's
where-
quiet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they've got 3 computers in there, and that's where the public kids work and Crest kids work and stuff like that.
And has that been good?
Yep, excellent. It's been great because they can just work away in there, and it's a quiet room and there's access to it and stuff like that.
Are there any other things that you would recommend?
In here, I'd like to have more links from here to the data projector.
Oh, yeah.
So if kids are working on a computer here, then they can link straight through to either my laptop or through there without having to cut cords around and stuff. I think you can do it with the Mac setup. I think you can use that setup. You can share the desktop and put it up there, so that if the kids did something, we could just chuck it up there.
Yep.
And ideally, you'd have your 10 laptops in this room.
Yeah.
That's what you'd have. 10 laptops in here. Then you don't need to leave it. It's all set up for you.
I can see that there's you're not doubling up on surface area, which is really effective, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Because you haven't got any side benches to reduce the space.
Yeah, well,
you're basically working on the same surface area
Yeah.
for writing and for practical work.
Yep.
Yeah.
And having that thing underneath means it clears it out.
Yeah.
So it's a better setup. This is actually a smaller room by 1 bay than all the other rooms, other science rooms.
Yeah.
Yet there seems to be more room in here because we haven't got kids' backs to us either.
No.
So if I'm talking around a group of kids, if I'm talking to a group of kids that are sitting around there, then you're on the right side and you can just talk to them.
And I like the way you've got the bags around. You've got the bags away from their feet.
Well, they have to because it's a workspace, so
Yeah.
do that. It stops them munching stuff during the lesson too. Stop them munching stuff.